Hello everybody, welcome to your Monday edition of the MCN. It's going to be a very busy week for the community. On Wednesday we'll be having Act 8.3 drop. On Thursday, Friday and Saturday we've got Battleground Brawl and the Summoner Summit, I think. I'm trying to find out some details from Kabam on when stuff drops and streams and stuff like that. But welcome to Monday's MCN. Filled with some very yikes and yeesh kind of reaction to some of the stuff over the weekend. Let's delve into it, shall we? So one of the things that dropped towards the latter point of last week was the new store interface, which of course we did a video on the channel at the time. Obviously I wasn't aware that not everybody would get it. And as a lot of you know, the situation with that is that summoners will slowly get the new store set up over the next 1 to 2 months. So don't worry, of course you'll indeed get it. But it's one of these mixed stores really. I think mixed in whether or not players actually like it or not. Problem is with like anything new, it's like, yeah, it's a bit of an iffy one. You know, looking like this, I must admit on an iPad, it does look very small. I mean, like, you know, we unpacked this in that video, so go and check it out. But these particular like tap things, they're very kind of like small to see. And I would say with a lot on it, just sometimes the sizing doesn't work out too great. Definitely think there's room for improvement with it, but I like what they're trying to achieve. Of course, there's some stuff missing at the moment, which is an issue. You cannot buy the 6-star Unstoppable Colossus. And I believe as well, there's some other stuff missing, like Platinum Pool. So there's a few things missing from that store since it's been updated. And definitely room for Kabam to deal with it and, see the potential in it. Which, unfortunately, it's not for everybody. Some like it, some don't. Terrible, says one. I like it. It's done no reason to drag out a debate. You'll get used to it. Depends, really. How about the community say on starting duplicate threads instead of scrolling through a page or two? That's another thing. Pony and Trap UI. Do not like it. 0 and 10. It is poorly done and could use a rework. It's new. It's new. I don't like it. Don't like anything new. Oh, I'm sorry. The world is going to evolve and you're going to be left back. Still having it. Yeah, it's like, well, some people don't like it. Some people do like it. I want to say it's not more 50-50. I would say it's more kind of predominantly people don't like it. But again, it's just down to like they're rolling it out. Is it always better when Kabam are doing stuff to kind of allow the summoner? I think in this case, it would be better for summoners and the player base to be more involved with its creation rather than Kabam dictating this. Mainly because players use it more than Kabam will. Like, players will be actively on a daily basis, hourly basis, whatever, getting involved with this store. So if it's not in a way that's like, I don't know, you can navigate it, then that's when you need to kind of like speak to your players and find out what's going on with it. I mean, it's weird because I like it, but I don't like the way that it's just kind of like everything's small, microscopic in certain areas. So it would have been good if there was an enlargement on certain bits. Of course, the spending element to it is kind of focused more for the first few tabs. It's very much a case of like spendy. I like things being cleaner. I appreciate what Kabam are trying to do. As I said, I think it would have been best to just go, hey summoners, we're thinking about changing this to this. Here are some options. Option 1, 2 and 3 for a store improvement. What are your thoughts? Player base vote for number 2 because number 1 is like this. Number 3 looks like something else. You know, this is when the community gets to get involved with things and understand. They may even change it. But it would have, rather than saving time on development, go, right, well the players liked this. Let's change it to this. But thoughts on that in the comments section. How do you feel about the new store? And as well, how would you feel about the approach? How should have Kabam approached putting in a new store? Okay, now on to something interesting. And let's talk about Battlegrounds results and the points, the threshold in order to get something good. So, interesting stuff. It looks like a lot more effort and a lot more points are being fronted for decent positions in Battlegrounds. And this is something that is going to get worse before it gets better, which can be always a problem. And maybe it's a time for Kabam to change the Alliance results ranks, in that players are able to get better stuff. So I'm sure some people will agree with that, but a lot of people may disagree with that. And I think it comes to a head when the points, how many more points you and your Alliance are putting in to get a better rank. So to give you an example, our alliance fronted up, I think it was like close to like 6 point something mil, or kind of going to 7 mil, can't 100% remember. But let's face it, that's a lot of points to put in, where you look at previous seasons, and putting in a nice chunk didn't really get you what you thought you were going to get. Further on that point, just to explain a bit more, this is the season results back in Season 10. As you can see, 10.2 mil would have been enough to get position 197. Go to this season. By the way, shout out to MCOC Avenger. Link to MCC Avenger's Twitter is in the link in the description. Thank you very much for collecting all this info. But yeah, that 10.2 is only enough at the moment to scrape in a 1 to 10%, which is right there. So you can see what's happening. That particular season I referenced a moment ago was last season. That particular last season did not have any kind of event. It was Season 9 where we had an event of grinding in order to get 400k. And as we said in that particular theory, and something in order to be slightly concerned about, was that if everybody in your alliance had to do 400k, which let's face it, a lot of alliances would have to do based on 30 members of your alliance, that would be 12 mil that players would do. So Kabam already forcing a higher rank grind as it is, which causes a problem if you're expecting to receive something in particular from your take home. And MCC Avenger does an amazing job to chart the previous seasons and how they've gone. I mean, here's the example right here that you got Season 4, 6th place with 14 mil. Flash forward to what was Season 9 and it's 30 mil. So things are rapidly changing and have rapidly changed and will continue to change going into the future. Position 1, 34 mil points for a season base finish. That is crazy considering 22 mil was Season 8. And now on to something very, very interesting. This is all about Kushala. So as you know, Kushala is the second champion that's coming into the game. I think it's I don't know if it's been confirmed or not, but it's Mystic for Kushala and it's then skill for Chilith. So I think that's how it's going to be. In any case, it's always really interesting when somebody deep dives stuff. Slayer of Gods put a little deep dive into Kushala, and especially putting together the link. As a lot of you knew, like we thought there was going to be some sort of Ghost Rider coming to the game next month, but it turns out that it is and it isn't, because it's not exactly Robbie Reyes, or it's not exactly the other versions of Ghost Rider, but it's going to be the Spirit of not Spirit of Vengeance. Oh yeah, it's going to be the Spirit of Vengeance. Basically, the Spirit Rider type element of Kushala. So this is going to be really, really cool. And some interesting nods to some abilities and information, stuff I didn't know, which was that she should have, well, may have, pyrokinesis, which allows her to manipulate and control hellfire, even to the form of weapons like swords and tomahawks, can summon a flaming horse at will, which also allows her to fly. Don't know if we're going to see that. Expertise of magic and spells. She claims to know all magic, including binding spells, earth magic, Nordic magic, chaos magic, and more. Time and multiverse travel. I don't know if we'll see that in the game. Soul manipulation. I think we might see that in the game. Teleportation. Magic shield protection. I could see that. And some sort of resurrection. After seeing other champions recently that have done some elements of resurrection, what's to say that won't be a thing that comes into game? Very, very exciting times and things could be coming. Go and check out the link in the description and read through this. I had an interesting time reading through some information I didn't know. So yeah, and also some of the artwork from previous comic books. Okay, now I want to talk about Chilith and this situation where there's been Kabam have responded to this, where people have been very negative towards the character, and this was odd. I mean, for me, when I first kind of saw this character, I thought it was cool. Like, the thing that I care about with MCOC is seeing a lot of Marvel-based characters. Also, Kabam, hopefully, Kabam can create more characters. They create King Groot, one of my favorite characters. They created, Guillotine. There's lots of other kind of original creation. But obviously, there's a lot of Marvel characters from different types of, backgrounds, walks of life, and stuff like that. And of course, there are many people out there, you might be watching from your country and kind of going well, there's not really that much representation when it comes to my particular country. Look, This particular character is an old one. If you saw some of the content I put out, if you actually watched the live stream, you'll know that originally we were meant to be getting Red Fox, which is a Marvel character, which is from the first, First Nation, Native American, and that's kind of like, that's that. This is the issue, isn't it? Like, does this now discourage other Kabam members for making like characters? There could be someone in Kabam that is Indian or Japanese or from other walks of life and other backgrounds that goes, okay, like I'd like to create a character, but then looks at the way that people have responded to all this situation and go and feel quite discouraged. I mean, yeah, Kabam could go through the line of like, just creating these kind of, I don't know, Agons, Civil Warriors, Venom the Ducks, those type of characters that are new, but it doesn't really kind of align much with stuff. That it's a bit of a tough one. I think a lot of the time people get very, I'd say, triggered in a certain way, triggered enough to have an opinion when it comes to the a package or kind of marketing package around a character that's just been what people feel brought in for. I don't know how people would describe it, but to appease the current situation, the current status quo. I mean, for me, I don't see it this way. I see it in a way that, look, at some stage, I'd like to see a lot more coverage in various different areas. I'd like to find that one day we have a kick-ass Central American character, maybe like an Aztec kind of like tie-in and stuff with that a strong Indian-based character, maybe even kind of like we finally see the Spider-Man India, we see like a strong original Japanese character, you name it, European type character, all that stuff. It's a tough one. It's a tough one when it comes to this. There are some kind of like very kind of weird comments, but of course there are some ones that are liking it. Some people don't. As I said, for me, I like it, but there you go. And of course you're entitled to your own opinion whether or not you like the character design, but yeah, I just find it a little bit weird. As I said, like, it just discourages like other Kabam members who are from these backgrounds to create based on responses that we got, whether or not Kabam put it at New York Comic Con or just put the character out. It's kind of like it's a tough one. Obviously, Kabam, like I said, unfortunately I have to close the thread, which is too bad because it's about the introduction of a character that was a passion project for our designers. First Nations people were eager and excited to make a character that they truly feel tells their stories and represents their heritage and culture. I want to say something to those people making hateful, racist and homophobic remarks, hiding behind this mask of forced diversity and making everything political. Diversity is not... That's the thing I wonder. Like, why does everybody make everything a political statement? Because then it just broils... How it works is people go like, my political opinion is greater than yours. Mine's greater than yours. And then people then start going like, oh, well, you can't obviously use English properly because you can't speak properly. Blah, 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 blah. It's just... I don't know, it's the world we live in, isn't it? Us wanting to tell our stories is not political. This is our game and we built it. If you want to tell your stories, make your own game. Yeah, make your own game. This game was built on an extremely diverse group of people. Our First Nations team member that made the character also built much of the RPG systems the game stands on. Our LGBTQ teammates built the foundation of the game. Let me be clear, when I say without their contribution, there will be no Marvel Contest Champions. If you want to be a bigot, go do somewhere else, because I don't owe you a space or platform for you to spread your hatred and bigotry. You can, other stuff. I'm not going to go too much into that, but yeah, it's a bit much ready from Kabam Mike. But look, as I said, like, the point is, like, this should not discourage anybody from Kabam from their various different ethnic and different backgrounds to create, and they should continue creating. I guess, it's just thing, like, did people kick up a fuss when Lady Deathstrike came in and had her background? Same with Psylocke, same with Photon, same with Shuri, same with any other character that may have a loose like background to somewhere. Like, it's a bit of a tough one, because then people would say like, well, here's the thing, we were meant to get that the really real world events are kind of incorporating on the fact that we don't have that Russian based character that was meant to be buffed. And people then have said also like, well, we do have that Red Skull, you know, buff coming in, you know, and he's based on whatever he's based on. The problem is if we start going down this line, it is just nothing's going to get done, and we'll just be down at this situation of just doom and gloom. And it's like at the end of the day, we just got to go like, let's just be cool and go, we're getting a cool character coming into game, and take it at that, and encourage Kabam and members of Kabam and team members at Kabam and other groups to create characters, you know, for the future. Just keep going. Like, don't be discouraged from anybody that's of a, as I said, you know, Indian background. Kabam, creating a character. Go do it. Don't feel discouraged by this situation. Do the same for others. You know, we'll want to see that. And as I said, like, you know, Central American, you know, Mexican, whatever. Like, just keep creating and knocking it out of the park. And just everyone be cool and focus on the abilities of the character. Get around that. So here we are with the results. Thanks very much to everybody. Community tab, Discord, various different areas where you've posted results massively helps out. So thanks to everybody. Of course, when it comes to this little spreadsheet right here, not everybody is listed. I've just tried to make this as kind of like clean as possible to kind of get certain scores. Like for example, position 241, 141 mil. People went a little bit hard for Werewolf by Night. But then when you come down to about here, this is close to your 400 mark. Like we've got 123, got 397, and then 106 is pushing to that 475 kind of marker. And then we go into our 5-star area, 25 mil, the lowest I can find that gives you the 5-star version of Werewolf by Night. Venom wise, we're looking at 38 mil for position 8, right at the very top, and then 21.5 mil for position 98. So I can imagine like there's going to be some lower scores for Venom 6-star. So I'll go with predictions: 130 mil for 6-star Werewolf by Night, 5-star version 25 mil, 18 mil for the 6-star version of Venom, and then we've got 8 mil for the 5-star version of Venom. And that's been your results for round and predictions for round 2. Good luck everybody in the grind. That's been the show. Thank you very much for watching, and thanks for the support. I'll see you in a video later on today. Not quite sure what it's going to be. I'm hoping it might be an Act 8.2. No, it's going to be Red Skull buff video maybe. In any case, check out some other content located on screen. Have a lovely day. Bye bye for now.